What's up, everyone? Welcome to MMA Mumbo Jumbo. We are doing a prediction on UFC 223.
Hello, so I'm Daniel.
And I'm Gary.
So this is our prediction for the main card only.
Right.
So we'll be going down the list, and first fight on the list is Paul Felder against Iaquinta.
Iaquinta.
So what do you think?
I like Paul Felder because Iaquinta was injured for almost a year, so he came back to this fight, and we don't know how his condition is, and I don't know how his injury is. Injury, we always bring to injury. So, but Paul Felder, he's more active and he's more healthier. He's stronger. He has knockout powers. I like Paul Felder. He is the underdog, but which is...
And I agree, because we're looking at the odds here. It's Paul Felder about plus 105, and Iaquinta is a favorite. He's minus 125. So based on the odds, if you're a betting man, I would say I'll be putting my money on Paul Felder.
I like Felder.
It's somewhat of an even fight, but...
Yeah.
So in that case, I will be actually betting on the underdog as well.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next fight, which is Mike Chiesa against Showtime Anthony Pettis.
Yeah.
So now the Mike Chiesa, he's a plus 105 favorite against Anthony Pettis. I mean underdog against Anthony Pettis minus 125. So, Gary, what do you think? I know you like Mike Chiesa in this fight.
Well, I like Michael Chiesa because Anthony Pettis, I wasn't impressed with his fights, with his last three fights.
His recent fights.
Yeah, he wasn't that impressive at all. And also, I like Michael Chiesa is because he also has a ground game, and Anthony Pettis is not that great on the ground. So it's more like an even matchup.
So you mean, given that it's a pretty even matchup, you're giving the edge to Chiesa just because he's the underdog on the fight. So if you want to be betting, Chiesa is your pick. I'm actually going the other way. I'm going Anthony Pettis on this fight because I feel Showtime definitely has more stand-up game. His stand-up game is much better than Chiesa. And in order for Chiesa to beat Pettis, he's going to have to pressure him, push him against the cage, and actually take him down to be able to do some kind of a submission. And I actually don't think he will be able to do that. I think Pettis he's actually a much more complete fighter compared to Chiesa. And I don't know, I'm actually picking Pettis to win.
Well, I mean, that's true. Standing up wise, I think Pettis has an advantage, but Chiesa has an advantage on the ground, and Pettis is less.
There's definitely like a blueprint to beat Pettis by now.
Yeah.
Given his history, so the way to beat Pettis is to pressure him, make him back up, press him against the cage, take him down, or basically just smother him. And because Pettis is a range fighter, he does a lot of kicks. He's performed the best at range. He can actually pick up pot shots, and he's kind of like a long range fighter. But I don't think Chiesa, his stand-up game is good enough to really implement, to really survive and then implement his game to try to take Pettis down, and then actually use his submission skills to beat Pettis. I think it actually takes a better wrestler to beat Pettis than what Mike Chiesa has to offer. So that's my thinking.
Well, that's true. I mean, Pettis he is the favorite, but I'm just saying he is not what he used to be before. So I do think Michael Chiesa has a chance to beat him. Okay. So with the odds, I might as well.
So in conclusion, I'm picking Pettis to beat.
Okay, we're back. Sorry, guys. It was Daniel's cat. He broke your glasses.
Okay, so we're moving on.
Broke your shot glasses. All right, let's move on to the next one.
it's gonna be Renato Moicano against Calvin Kattar. So Gary, what do you think about this fight?
Well, I like Renato Moicano because he fought a more well-known fighters, and he won. Look at he won the fight with German Stevens. He won with Tom Nimimaki. I mean, look at it. He won with this guy. This is a Russian guy. It was a split decision, but he won. So I like him more. I mean, of course, Calvin Kattar. He's a very aggressive. He's pretty good. He knocked out his last opponent. He was a pretty good fighter. They're almost the same. They're almost like a mirror to each other. With the point.
They mirror each other, but yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the odds here. Moicano is plus 140 underdog, and Kattar is a minus 160 favorite.
Yeah, with the odds, I'm going with the odds.
I actually tend to agree that I am picking Moicano if you're betting. If you're betting, man, then I would definitely pick Moicano because, yeah, I agree. Kattar hasn't really faced anybody important or any elite fighter.
Right.
If you look at him, this is only his third fight in the UFC. And Moicano has actually fought a lot of the elite known fighters that's ranked fighters. And Moicano kind of had this more of a style of he's picking from long range, he's super round, his footwork is a little bit better. And yeah, even though he doesn't have much power, I guess Kattar is the favorite because he has more power. And his last fight, he just knocked out
Shane Burgos.
Burgos, correct. He knocked him out in the third round. But I think Moicano will be able to actually slowly and by a decision and actually grind out a victory. Kattar is just I think he's inexperienced. And he's kind of like a lesser Jeremy Stevens, I would say. He has a lot of potential. I don't think he's there yet. And Moicano beat Jeremy Stevens, and I feel like he's gonna kind of implement the same kind of tactics against Kattar.
Yeah.
And kind of beat Kattar in the same way, if you will. Because if Moicano can absorb Jeremy Stevens' power, I think he can face Kattar's. He can absorb Kattar's punching power as well.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not an easy fight.
This is actually going to be a very close fight.
Yeah,
it could go either way, but if you look at the odds,
yeah,
for plus 140, I would definitely pick Moicano because it's just not worth it to pick Kattar as a minus 160 favorite.
Me too.
Okay, let's move on to the co-main event. This is going to be exciting. This is going to be a rematch of the women's strawweight champion, a 5-round fight. It's going to be Rose Namajunas against Joanna Jedrzejczyk. So this fight is going to be pretty exciting. And Rose is actually going to be the underdog in this fight. Because, Jedrzejczyk is the
champion.
She defended the title 6 times. One of the greatest champions in the strawweight division. So Rose is going to be plus 115 and Jedrzejczyk is minus 135. So Gary, I know you're picking Doug Rose to win this fight.
Yeah, I like Rose.
So why do you think she's going to repeat her performance?
Well, I think Rose she could stand her ground as a stand-up artist. She could stand her ground. She's not as bad as the other fighter that Jedrzejczyk faced. And also, Rose also has an advantage on the ground, which Jedrzejczyk doesn't.
So you think that she's not going to be intimidated?
Right, she's definitely not intimidated. And I feel like she's like more advantage on the size difference. She's more lengthier, longer, and she has more range. And it's harder for Jedrzejczyk to get inside of her. You know what I mean? I mean, she's a good striker, but I mean, I think Rose could stand her ground as a striker, and she has advantage on the ground.
So you don't think that first fight is a fluke?
I don't think it's a fluke, but no, I don't think it's a fluke.
Okay, so I'm actually picking Joanna to win the rematch. I felt that Jedrzejczyk has a better, more well-rounded stand-up game. And that first fight, I mean, Jedrzejczyk is actually always known to be a slow starter. So as a 5-round fight, I feel like if Jedrzejczyk can get through that first round, she's gonna pick up her pace and she's gonna start to feel out her distance, and then she's gonna start dominating and take over the fight. I mean, let's be honest. Like in terms of the both women's abilities, I feel like Joanna is a much well-rounded stand-up fighter, and I don't really think there's any worry for Jedrzejczyk to Rose to beat her on the ground. Jedrzejczyk's takedown defense is, I would say, it's legendary. It's elite level. Like there's like much better wrestlers than Rose that tried to take her down and hasn't been able to do so. And I think the cardio problem department is Jedrzejczyk has been through a lot of 5-round wars, and she's been there and done it. And Rose has never been tested in those kind of waters. So I feel like if Rose couldn't repeat her performance against Joanna in the first round and just knocks her out, and Jedrzejczyk can drag her into deep water into the later rounds, I think this is Jedrzejczyk's fight. She's gonna take her belt back.
I actually disagree. I think Rose could definitely stand her ground, standing up. I think she's not that bad stand-up artist, and she also has an advantage. She has advantage almost everywhere except on the ground. I mean, except on stand-up. Which is a little, JJ is a little bit more superior, but I don't think Rose is that bad of a fighter.
I don't think they're going to get that.
Well, we don't know that. I think Rose might take it down. I mean, if they were to go to the ground.
Yeah, if they took it down, Jedrzejczyk is gonna pop right back up.
Well,
that's what she does best. And on the feet, I think Jedrzejczyk, I mean, if you look at all her past fight, she's always does not look all that well in the first round. It's always been her weakness. Like she's a very slow starter. She needs a little bit of time to start figuring out her range and starting to implement the combinations into she start testing out all her combinations and see what works. And she gets stronger and stronger as the round goes on. And I feel like that's what's gonna happen. If Rose couldn't catch her like she did the first fight, I think it's all Jedrzejczyk's fight all the way throughout the later rounds. And given a look at the odds, Jedrzejczyk is minus 135, Rose is plus 115. I think Jedrzejczyk had this fight.
I disagree, of course. I actually think it's the opposite. I think Rose will dominate this fight.
So what do you think? It's going to be knockout? It's going to be a finish? Or you think it's going to be a decision?
It's going to be either a finish from Rose or it's going to be a decision that is for Rose.
So you think Rose can, if it goes to a decision, Rose can actually win this fight?
Yeah.
I actually disagree. I'm picking Joanna by decision. I don't think Joanna can really finish Rose, but she's gonna be out volume Rose in terms of just strikes and it will just be too much for Rose to overcome, and she will win by decision, 5-round decision, and retain her belt. So that's my thought about it. And okay, let's move on to the next fight.
Alright, well, let's see. But
now we got the main event. This is the fight that everybody's been waiting for. Tony Ferguson against Aubin Nurmagomedov. This is a fight 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
So just looking at the odds, Tony Ferguson is a pretty significant underdog, plus 190 against Aubin Nurmagomedov. He's a minus 230 favorite. I understand that the odds right now, the one I'm looking at, when it first initially announced, Aubin was actually almost a 2.5 to 1 favorite. So what do you think, Gary? Who do you pick?
Well, of course, I like Aubin Nurmagomedov. I mean, look at his record, 25-0, hasn't lost a fight. He's a specialist. Once he takes it down, he's a specialist on the ground. And the reason I think that he will win this fight is because Tony Ferguson is not hard to take down. I mean, he could defend it, but he's not hard to take down. And once Aubin takes you down, that's it. He'll just work you on the ground, and you don't really have a lot of chance to get up. You could get up, but you would basically lose the round once he takes you down.
And he kind of does have a Habib. Once he took you down, he zaps all of your energies.
Right. That
I
too.
tend to agree, but here's where you and me differs at this. Is that if you're picking the if you based on the odds alone, Tony at plus 190, I'm actually going with Tony. Because I feel Habib, just like you said, he is a specialist. He's kind of a one-trick pony. It's like if he couldn't take you down, then he can win. And I feel like that's what Tony knows that going in. So he's gonna plan his strategy around that. He's gonna try to figure out a way to outpoint and outstrike Habib on the feet and actually trying to work around it. Now Tony he's a greedy fighter. He's good at everything. He's actually a brilliant jiu-jitsu submission artist as well. So I do agree that if this fight is even money, then I'm picking Habib all the way because he's a monster. Like the guy, he takes you down and he smothers you. Like he's once you pick him up, once he take you down, it's pretty much over. Like you're not getting back up.
Right.
You basically surrender the round and maybe the fight.
Right.
But my opinion is that if you're betting, I think the plus 190 for Tony is just too good to pass down. And Tony is no joke. He's probably one of the best fighters in that division.
Yeah,
period.
he's the champ.
Yeah,
right.
he is the champ. And in my book, it's kind of a pick'em, maybe a little slight edge to Habib, but really a 2.5 favorite, 2.3 to 1 favorite. I really don't think so.
But don't get me wrong, Tony is a live dog. It's no question about it.
Right.
But I just think that Tony is, like you said, the only way that Nurmagomedov could win is to take him down. And Tony Ferguson is not hard to take him down. So if Nurmagomedov wants to take him down, he'll take him down. And he'll just work him for 5 rounds.
I think Tony knows that.
Yeah, but it's not hard for him to take him down.
They're gonna try to plug that hole. Ferguson is gonna try to, in his training, they are gonna try to study the tapes and they're gonna try to figure out a way to keep the fight on the feet. And they're gonna try to figure out a way to beat Habib on the feet, standing up. Because, that's how I feel. Like, yes, I am in favor of Habib winning this fight, but
well,
like I said again,
that is the plan, but it's easier said than done. A lot of people, they have to plan what to do, but once you get in the octagon, then it's different. It's different from actually having the skill to do it and just to following the plans to do it. I'm not saying Ferguson couldn't do it. I'm just saying I think Habib is just too much of a specialist for Tony Ferguson to defend him 5-1.
Okay, so where do you see this fight going? You think it's gonna be a 5-round war? It's gonna go the distance, or how do you see it go?
I see it. It's gonna go the distance, but Habib is gonna take the decision.
I think it's gonna be Ferguson decision.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Okay, so there you have it, and that's our pick for the main card of the UFC 223. And this is Daniel, and that's Gary. This concludes our prediction.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.